You've mastered your mind. You know how to control your reactions, stay present, and maintain inner order despite chaos. But here's where most people get stuck. How do you actually live with these principles? You wake up tomorrow morning. You have bills to pay, a career to build, people judging you, temptations pulling at you from every direction. You scroll through social media and see everyone flaunting their success. Your neighbor just bought a luxury car. Your boss praises someone else but ignores your hard work. Suddenly, all that internal control feels theoretical. The truth is, knowing Stoic principles and living them are two completely different things. Most people understand the ideas intellectually but have no clue how to apply them when the rent is due, when their ego is bruised, or when everyone around them is chasing things that look so appealing. In our previous exploration of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, we discussed mastering your inner world. Today we're going deeper into something equally crucial: how a Stoic actually lives day to day. This isn't about retreating to a mountain monastery or renouncing everything. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, yet he lived as a Stoic. He shows us that you can engage fully with life, with work, relationships, responsibilities, while maintaining your principles. In this video, we'll explore the practical Stoic lifestyle, how to live simply in a world obsessed with luxury, how to remain honest when everyone else is performing, how to act virtuously without seeking applause, and how to build a life that feels meaningful rather than just impressive. Let's begin. Number 1, live according to nature and reason. The Stoics had a fundamental belief: to live well means to live according to nature. But what does that mean practically? It means recognizing what you are, a rational being with the capacity for reason, virtue, and choice. Nature gave you a mind. To follow nature means to use it. Marcus wrote, "Your mind should sit superior to your body and its sensations. You have a rational faculty. That's what separates you from animals." To follow nature means to make use of what nature has given you. Most people live like animals, reacting to every stimulus, chasing every pleasure, avoiding every discomfort. They let their bodies dictate their behavior. A Stoic does the opposite. When your body wants to sleep in, your reason says, "There's work to be done." When your emotions want to lash out, your reason says, "That would violate my principles." When your impulses want immediate gratification, your reason says, "What serves me long term?" This doesn't mean becoming a robot. It means putting your rational mind in charge instead of being a slave to your body's demands. Deep down, you already know the things you should be doing. The gap between knowing and doing exists because you haven't trained your mind to override your body's objections. Living according to nature also means accepting your place in the larger order of things. You're part of a whole. You have a role to play. You're meant to cooperate with others, contribute to society, and act in alignment with universal principles. When you live this way, guided by reason, contributing to the whole, life flows naturally. Decisions become clearer. Conflicts decrease. You stop fighting against reality and start working with it. Number 2, live simply, avoid luxury. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He had access to unlimited wealth, the finest foods, the most luxurious accommodations, and every comfort imaginable. Yet he chose to live simply. He avoided extravagant clothing. He slept on a simple bed. He ate modest meals. Not because he had to, but because he understood something most people never grasp. Luxury softens the mind. Stoic philosophy presents us with two ways to live. Live well. Live comfortably. To live comfortably, you need money and luxuries. To live well, you need only the right mindset. Marcus believed that when you surround yourself with comfort and luxury, it distracts you from meaningful work. It makes you dependent on external conditions for happiness. It traps you in an endless cycle of wanting more. You get the nice apartment, but then you need the nicer one. You get the car, but then you want the upgrade. The luxury becomes a prison, so don't worry about what car your neighbor drives or what you lack. Reduce your needs. Live minimally. Become someone who needs very little but achieves a lot. This doesn't mean living in poverty or rejecting all pleasure. It means being content with simplicity. It means not defining yourself by your possessions. When you live simply, you become free. Free from the anxiety of losing things, free from the burden of maintaining them, free from comparing yourself to others. Marcus wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." The modern world constantly tells you that you need more stuff, more status, more luxury. But every Stoic knows this is a lie designed to keep you dissatisfied. Choose simplicity. You'll be richer than you realize. Number 3, non-attachment to wealth and possessions. Here's something important. Stoics don't view wealth as evil. Marcus clarified this perfectly. Wealth in and of itself is not a good or bad thing. It's how you use it. The problem isn't having money or possessions. The problem is becoming attached to them, letting them define you, control you, or consume your thoughts. He wrote, "If you can't stop prizing other things, then you'll never be free. You'll always be envious, jealous, or afraid that someone might come and take things away from you." Most people are either enslaved by wanting wealth or enslaved by despising it. Both are forms of attachment. The Stoic approach is different. Learn to use wealth when you have it, but be absolutely prepared to let it go. Use possessions unapologetically but without arrogance. Treat what you don't have as non-existent. Look at what you have and appreciate it, but don't become so attached that losing it would destroy you. Marcus practiced a powerful exercise. Think of how much you'd crave the things you already have if you didn't have them. But be careful. Don't feel such satisfaction that you start to overvalue them, that it would upset you to lose them. This is the balance. Gratitude without attachment. Enjoy your home, but know you could be content in a smaller one. Appreciate your car, but you could walk if needed. Value your possessions, but understand they're temporary. When you achieve this non-attachment, something remarkable happens. You can actually enjoy your possessions more because you're no longer anxious about losing them. You're no longer comparing them to others. You're not trapped. Your only true goods are your virtues, your character, integrity, wisdom, courage. Everything else is on loan from the universe. Number 4, be honest, sincere, and straightforward. In a world of performance, filters, and carefully curated images, honesty has become radical. Marcus despised pretense. He wrote, "We should be honest and straightforward. We shouldn't prance about, keep airs, or try to portray ourselves as something we're not." Most people wear masks. They say what others want to hear. They exaggerate their successes. They hide their struggles. They perform for an invisible audience. This is exhausting, and it's pointless. Marcus advised, stop talking about what a good man is like. Just be one. Speak the truth as you see it, but with kindness and humility. Don't use honesty as a weapon or an excuse to be cruel. But don't soften it so much that it becomes dishonest either. Be who you are, not who you think will impress people. If you make a mistake, admit it. If you don't know something, say so. If you change your mind based on new evidence, own it. Marcus wrote, "To accept correction is a free and noble action. It's still your choice, based on your own will and judgment." Most people view changing their mind as weakness or losing, but it's actually strength. It's intellectual honesty overcoming ego. When you live this way, honest, sincere, straightforward, you simplify your life immensely. You don't have to remember what you told whom. You don't have to maintain different versions of yourself. You just are. And people respect this. They might not always like what you say, but they trust you. Because in a world full of performance, authenticity stands out. Abstain from rhetoric. Don't try to pander or curry favor. Just speak plainly and act honestly. Number 5, ignore praise, fame, and others' opinions. Here's something that will free you instantly. Stop caring what people think. Marcus wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about how insane this is. You spend your life knowing yourself intimately, your thoughts, struggles, intentions, yet you let strangers' opinions carry more weight than your own self-knowledge. You know what you're about. You know the reasons why you're doing what you're doing. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. Even worse is when we seek praise from people we don't even respect. Marcus observed this paradox. We fawn over and seek approval from people who are worthy of contempt. Why? Because we've been conditioned to believe external validation matters. We've been taught that praise equals worth, that fame equals success, that being liked equals being valuable. But Marcus understood fame for what it is, utterly worthless. He wrote, "Fame in a world like this is meaningless. Contemplate the insignificance of it in the grand scheme of things." As a mental exercise, he suggested asking, what difference does praise really make? Think about who's praising you. What are their values? What do they chase? Are these people whose judgment you genuinely respect? Often the answer is no. So here's the liberating truth. Your opinion of yourself matters far more than a stranger's opinion of you. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant or dismissing all feedback. It means doing what you know is right regardless of others' reactions. Do good quietly, as your duty, not for applause. When you act virtuously, the act itself is the reward. You don't need recognition. You don't need thanks. You did what a good person does, and that's enough. Stop performing. Stop seeking validation. Live according to your principles and let the opinions fall where they may. Number 6, practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices in Stoicism, yet it's often overlooked. Marcus began the entire book of Meditations with gratitude. The entire first chapter lists everything he's thankful for. The people who shaped him, the lessons he learned, the qualities he developed. He expressed gratitude for learning while young, for teachers who invested in him, for developing a strong character, for the freedom of speech he enjoyed, for friends who tolerated him, for the ability to work with his own hands. This wasn't just polite acknowledgement. It was a deliberate practice to counter the natural human tendency toward dissatisfaction. When you practice gratitude, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, from what went wrong to what went right, from what others owe you to what you've received. But Stoic gratitude goes deeper than just being thankful. Marcus taught, think of what you have, the things you value most, and consider how much you'd crave them if you didn't have them. This creates what psychologists now call negative visualization, imagining loss to increase appreciation. Can you walk? Be grateful. Some people cannot. Can you see? Be grateful. Many cannot. Do you have food today? Be grateful. Billions throughout history did not. This isn't about guilt or minimizing your problems. It's about perspective. You're alive in an era of unprecedented comfort and opportunity. You have access to knowledge that emperors couldn't access. You have technologies that would seem like magic to people just generations ago. Yet most people focus entirely on what they don't have. Practice gratitude daily, not as a ritual, but as a genuine acknowledgement of the abundance that already exists in your life. When you do this consistently, something shifts. The constant craving lessens. The comparison stops. You realize you already have enough. Number 7, act well for its own sake, not for reward. This is perhaps the most challenging Stoic principle to live by. Do good without expecting anything in return. Marcus was clear. If you choose to do a kind act, don't do it in expectation of a future reward. The act itself is its own reward and leads to a good life. Most people operate on a transactional model. They're nice because they want something back. They help because they expect gratitude. They do good because they want recognition. But this makes virtue conditional. It makes your character dependent on others' responses. A true Stoic acts virtuously because it's the right thing to do, period. Marcus wrote, true delight in stillness is to move from one unselfish action to the next. When you help someone, don't wait for thanks. When you do your job well, don't expect applause. When you act with integrity, don't demand recognition. The action itself justified your effort. You became the kind of person who does that, and that's the reward. This doesn't mean you should accept being exploited or let people take advantage of you. It means your motivation for acting well comes from within, not from external validation. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. When you live this way, you become unshakable. Someone's ingratitude can't make you regret helping them. Someone's criticism can't make you regret doing the right thing. You did what a virtuous person does. That's enough. In fact, if you're in a position of authority, you may even be hated for your good actions. Marcus knew this. As emperor, every decision he made had critics, but he understood. A king's part is to do good and to be reviled. The important thing is that you're not dissuaded from the right course in search of applause. Do your duty, act well, not for reward, but because that's who you are. Number 8, duty above personal desire. The final principle of Stoic daily living is perhaps the most demanding. Put duty before desire. Marcus had a morning practice. He would remind himself, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain about if I'm going to do what I was born for? He didn't always want to face the day. He didn't always feel like dealing with the burdens of empire, but he understood that his personal preferences were irrelevant. His duty was clear, and duty comes before comfort. This sounds harsh to modern ears. We're taught to follow our passion, to do what makes us happy, to prioritize self-care and personal fulfillment. But the Stoics understood something deeper. Lasting fulfillment comes from doing what you're meant to do, not from chasing what you want in the moment. Marcus wrote, if you can, do the job in front of you. Don't complain. If you can't, seek help without feeling ashamed. But still don't complain, not even inwardly to yourself. Duty isn't slavery, it's purpose. You have responsibilities to your family, your work, your community, yourself. These aren't burdens. They're what give your life meaning. A parent doesn't stop being a parent when they're tired. A doctor doesn't stop treating patients when it's inconvenient. A soldier doesn't abandon their post because they'd rather be elsewhere. Stand up straight in life. Don't be propped up by others. Do your duty without fear. Marcus quoted the philosopher Socrates, the spot where a person decides to station himself, or wherever his commanding officer stations him, well, I think that's where he ought to take his stand and face the enemy, not worry about being killed or anything but doing his duty. This doesn't mean never resting or sacrificing your well-being. It means not letting personal comfort override what you know you should do. When you embrace duty, when you stop negotiating with yourself about whether you feel like doing what needs to be done, life becomes simpler. You know what you need to do, so you do it. And ironically, this is where true freedom lives, not in avoiding duty, but in accepting it fully. The Stoic Life. So what does it look like to actually live as a Stoic? It means waking up and letting reason guide your day, not your impulses. It means living simply, regardless of how much wealth you accumulate. It means holding your possessions lightly, grateful but not attached. It means being honest even when performance would be easier. It means doing good work for its own sake, not for applause. It means expressing genuine gratitude for what you have instead of obsessing over what you lack. It means ignoring the constant noise of others' opinions and living by your own principles. It means putting duty before desire again and again until it becomes who you are. This isn't easy. Marcus himself struggled with these principles his entire life, but he kept returning to them because he knew they worked. When you live this way, something remarkable happens. The anxiety decreases, the comparison stops, the craving for external validation fades. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start feeling like an agent of your own life. You become solid, grounded, unshakable. Not because nothing bothers you, but because you've built a life on principles that can't be taken away. But here's what we haven't discussed yet. Relationships. Because you don't live in isolation. You're surrounded by people, some kind, some difficult, some who will betray you, some who will inspire you. How does a Stoic navigate the social world? How do you deal with difficult people while maintaining your principles? How do you show love while maintaining boundaries? How do you cooperate with humanity while protecting your peace? In the next part of this series, we'll explore exactly that. The Stoic approach to relationships and social life. How to love without attachment, how to handle conflict with grace, how to be kind even to those who wrong you, and how to fulfill your social duties without losing yourself. If this video resonated with you, make sure you watch the next one. Because a life well lived isn't just about mastering yourself, it's about how you engage with the world around you. See you there.